Hey everybody, it's me again. Okay, we just got done doing the Sunday, well actually the entire week energy. And the entire week is giving us heads up that it's a time of reflection. Going within, seeking your answers within. It tells us that we're going to have some mental blocks, some challenges, hard time perhaps making a decision about something in particular, but we also have today Yera for Sunday, which was basically about, again, cycles, life cycles, cycles of the universe, and so on, ebbs and flows, if you will, of fate. So, and that's going to affect each and every one of you differently, obviously. But it also talks about legalities yet again, but rewards are followed, those legalities. So, Yera speaks of peace and commitment, speaks of results of earlier efforts gained, time of peace and happiness. It's a truthful season. Talks about breakthrough of stagnation, expectations of peace and prosperity, and promises of success. Okay, so those are the two energies specific for today. Overall energy being Esau, the one I just referred to about going within, reflection, possible stagnation, having a difficult time making decisions. But also we have Yera, which tells us that basically we can succeed. We have to do our part. Okay, there's no secret to any of this. Divination gives us some heads up so we can make more informed decisions. Okay, you know, the Bible speaks about in the multitude of counselors there's wisdom and everything else, and I'm just one of your, I don't know how many people you have in your life to give you advice or wisdom or whatever, but I'm just giving you the energy that is available out there, both good and bad, as it's seen. Okay, and you can utilize this energy. You can change the outcome of what they're saying is possible by taking countermeasures. Again, the benefits of divination. All right. Now, with that all being said, we're going to go ahead and pull our first stone for today, which is our future. And that's anytime between now and midnight tonight, since I pull daily. Okay? So we're going to get our very first rune for today, for Sunday, the 15th. Can you give me the energy for today, Sunday the 15th, please, for my collective? What do they need to hear on top of what I've already shared? And thank you. What do they need to hear? Thank you. What do they need to hear? All right, we have Kenaz. Kenaz, again, is the torch. I have this one tattooed on my hand right here, next to Odin's rune. Okay? It came up on the upright. So Kenaz basically tells us, it's the burning, the flame, the torch, that which illuminates, if you will. It talks about positivity or positive energy. It also talks about lust, rapport, knowledge, things of that nature. So, I mean, I'm trying to give you some heads up about the energy for this week and today in particular right now, so that you can use that or not to make, decisions throughout the day. So this is a positive rune. Okay, this gives us the illumination necessary. Along with the rune, I sought to go within and see clarity. Wait for that which is to come. Wait for your answers. Ask your ancestors for help. Ask the Most High, Source, God, your ancestors, whoever it is you pray to, or the higher self, whatever. I mean, it's different for everybody out there. And I can relate to all of that because, like I said, I have very open and eclectic spirituality. I've looked at everything from the darkest of the dark to the lightest of the light, so to speak. All right. So, Kenaz, very good information for the present. It helps us to illuminate, and that's why it's also a creative force. That's why I have it here next to Odin. I write music, I write poetry, I write books, I make movies, you know, and now I'm doing all this too. So I got a creative streak in me, and I hope you do too. You get that energy from your sacral chakra. It's the one that's, you know, just under your navel, basically, between your navel and your sexual organs. And it represents your, it's called your sex chakra, because it's the most powerful energy, creative energy. It's your sexual energy. You can create a human being from it, after all. You also create any other endeavor with that chakra. So you have to align them. You have to make sure your chakras are healthy and aligned. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube to look into if you want that, or I can help you. I meditate every day, so. All right, otherwise I would have killed a man by now. You know, maybe a few. All right, let's look at some of the influences for today. So we have Yera and we have Kanaz, two very positive runes for today. See what kind of influences we have. Okay, influences for today, please, and thank you. Well, we've seen this one a few times. Hagalaz. All right. Hagalaz is in the second Ayat group or family under Heimdall. Heimdall is the god that protects Asgard, protects the gates of Asgard, if you will, and he also oversees the second Ayat. Now, it means hail specifically, but, you know, hail in response to how, you know, if you have your crops and you're ready to harvest them and all of a sudden there's a hailstorm. You know, that hailstorm could be big or it could be small. It could damage no crops or it could damage literally everything in your field. So it just lets you know that there's always going to be trials, tribulations, hurdles, and so on that come into our life. Okay? Upheavals, risks, delays, shadows. Okay? That's basically what Hagalaz warns us of. So it's not a negative energy. It just reminds us of, you know, something that we all should be aware of already, but we all want to hear the good and only the good. We don't like hearing anything negative. But that's not life. It's not real. Okay? And it goes along with the, you know, the fool's journey that I went over yesterday in tarot. You know, we have to get past that way of thinking, that fantasy way of thinking, where only good, only good. I mean, it's nothing wrong with wanting good in your life, of course, and you can manifest good in your life, but you're always going to have trials and tribulations. Every one of us do. All right, what's another influence from my collective, please? Another influence from my collective, and thank you. All right, Manaz. This time it's in the upright. I pulled for the weekly, and we got Manaz in the reverse. So this time it's upright, and Manaz stands for just that, man, mankind. You know, it also stands for horse, progress, future, future changes, movement of any kind, and trust. Okay, so, you know, perhaps it's telling you to, you know, based upon the other energy that we have here, perhaps that you're sitting idly by, waiting for something to come to you or to make a decision. And Manaz is, in a way, telling us that we need to look within, as Isal tells us as well, reflect, and then make our decision and move forward. Okay? All right. And it does speak of progress. So, but you can't get anywhere, you can't make progress if you're just sitting there thinking about it. Right? And again, no judgment. I've been there many times, especially fairly recently. I have a lot to think about, and I can relate. So you have my prayers. If you're going through something deep and you want to talk about it, my door's open. Finally, we're going to get the future energy. Let's get the future energy. And again, that is anytime between now and midnight tonight, basically. What is the future energy for the day for my collective? What do they either need to be made aware of, or what positive outcome can they hopefully expect to see as long as they do what they're supposed to do and throughout the day. And thank you. Positive energy, please. Positive energy, please. Way over here. All right, we have Perth Row, and Perth Row is a positive room in the upright. Perth Row is like the games of chance, destiny, luck, that kind of a thing. Talks about mysteries, secrets, femininity. It talks about sexuality and initiation. I guess the Vikings were pretty much transfixed on sex. There's a lot of runes that talk about that. So, but you know, it's the creative force, and it's a beautiful thing when shared with somebody that you really appreciate, and it appreciates you, hopefully. So, anyway, that's a very positive rune for the future. One of chance, destiny, sexuality, initiation, mystery, secrets. Hope you're not keeping secrets from each other. Anyway, so overall the energy is not bad at all. It goes along with the overall energy for the week about reflection, cycles, about not thinking that things, even when they seem really rough, are being done to you, but they're for you. Sometimes we need a kick in the butt to get us to move, right? All right, so with that said, let's look at some love oracles. Let's see what love has in store for you. Since we pulled out one on sexuality, let's make, let's uncover some of your dirty deeds, if you will. Let's see what Spirit has to say about sexuality today, or your romance. It doesn't always come out good, but let's see what they have to say. All right, let's see. Hammer. It says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, perspective, persistent, and working on it. All right, well, somebody obviously needs to hear this out there. Maybe you and your lover, your wife, husband, whatever the case may be, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is that floats your boat out there, maybe you guys got to work out a few things, okay? That's what this is more or less talking about. And again, it goes nicely with the rest of the energy for today, where it just looks like it's not going to be necessarily completely smooth, seas in our journey this week. So we're going to have some ripples out there. All right, now let's look at an oracle card, see what the oracles have to say. Okay, this could be about advice, or it could be also about love. Let's see. So, let's get some advice for my collective. Some more advice for my collective, please. More advice for my collective. What do they need to know about this week? Concerning love, concerning money, whatever it is that they need to hear. These cards are so stiff, I almost never use them. Alright, one more time, one more shuffle. Alright, so what is the energy for today that my collective needs to see? I left when I saw you with someone. Oh boy. Nobody's going to come back and listen to me ever again. Well, I got to give you the energy that comes out. So perhaps somebody saw you out there with somebody else, and maybe you weren't aware of it. Maybe you are. I don't know. It doesn't specify, but they saw you, and that's when they left. So take that with a grain of salt if it applies, if it's applicable, and not everything that I say is going to be applicable to every person who watches. Everybody's on a different timeline, different time frame, and we're all different aspects in our charts, our natal charts. And that's something else I would encourage you to look at if you haven't already done so. Go look at your birth chart, and there's many different software programs that you can find online that are free. and you just enter in your date of birth, time you were born, and the place you were born, and it will give you a complete setup as far as all the planets in your natal chart, and it will tell you a lot. It's so accurate. It tells you about who you are, the people you're going to meet, situations you're going to come across, your education, your business, your love, religion, everything. It tells you everything. So look into that. But I just tried to segue out of this somewhat less than positive energy. I'm sorry, guys. You know, I just have to give you what it is that comes out. So it's what somebody needs to hear out there. Anyway, I hope that you do have a blessed day all the same. I wish I had much more positive energy like yesterday to share with you, but sometimes we win, sometimes, well, it's throwing the dice, right? That's what Hegels is. Or Perthro, I'm sorry. Perthro is throwing the dice, chance, things of that nature. All right, well, with that being said, I hope you have a very wonderful rest of the weekend. Keep in mind, again, none of this is written in stone. You have energy now that you're aware of, both good and bad, or not so good, I should say, that you can tap into and help you to make better changes in terms of your destiny. Okay? So, you know, if you are having issues with your spouse, again, you love that person for a reason. It doesn't mean let them walk all over you, but sometimes loving somebody means not having to be right all the time. And I've given that advice in the past, and I try to heed it myself. And I know it's not easy. You know, you may be right, but it's not about who's right or wrong. It's not a game between you and your lover. Sometimes what they need is time. And just being the bigger person and apologizing if you're having a fight or dispute, you know, that gives them time to reflect, and hopefully they will return, you know, with a change in terms of whatever it was they said, didn't do. You know, you love them for a reason, so I presume they're good people. I hope they are. I mean, we all make mistakes too. Don't get me wrong. I know I've made a few. But that's life. I wish you guys a good one. Okay? So until tomorrow, I will see you. Bye-bye.